a minute. Hold on. Who we got on the line right here, man? Grand Risings. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see if I could make. How you make that line? Oh, jeez. Hold on. Right here. Okay. Yo, Grand Risings. Who's this? Ramon?
Yes, sir.
We got Rahman Dukes on the line, ladies and gentlemen. We got Rahman Dukes on the line. Let me tell you.
Tracy.
Rahman Dukes.
Hey.
Let me tell you, just to give you some context. By the way, we got Mike Muse on the line, too. Mike Muse, Grand
Hey,
Risings,
Mike Muse.
It's mute, but
he got us
Monday,
on mute.
everyone. Good to be here.
okay. Let me just give you quick context. I would not have had a 20-plus year career at MTV if it wasn't for the man on the line right now, Rahman Dukes.
Stop it, man. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Come on.
And you know something to really put it out there and, completely, like, you did some of the best journalism ever in history with guys like DMX. You know what I'm saying? Like, at that time, like back then, like the DMXs, Method Mans, Redmans, Jay-Z's, Nas's, that was the only big platform like where they really felt they had to be on there and they felt like they made it. And they was like, I gotta talk to Sweat. Shout out to Andrea Duncan too, who her pen game was crazy. Like she would write all the articles for MTV News. But DMX was a guy, like personally for me, I'm from Queens. I grew up in upstate New York. Upstate, we consider that White Plains, Yonkers. I got a bunch of family out there. And we always knew about DMX before he got really signed. We always used to call him Dark Man X, and he was just a real, like, he was like the average street guy, So when he made it, which when a guy from, like, a neighborhood or an area from around you, like, makes it to that level, it's like you feel like you made it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, it gave a lot of hope. And that's really what he brought. And that's one of the main things that I'll really always remember. One of the most important notes, that people should really keep in mind is, in like 1990, 97, when X came out, X was the guy who took like the entire the hip hop music community, like the urban community, who was in so much pain and suffering from the loss of Biggie and Tupac. And he switched the whole game around, after, the shiny suit stuff, much respect and props to Puff, but X switched it back around. It was about him bringing like that raw energy, fresh talent to the table, but it just really uplifted an entire community. Swizz had made a comment where he was like, DMX was taking everybody else's pain. That was definitely like a landmark moment that he did that. And that's a moment in history of time because Bad Boy was killing it. We just lost two major artists within Big and Tupac, and, people was looking for directions. And here DMX came and came so crazy with all this inspirational music to drop 2 albums in 1 year and go multi-platinum. Unbelievable. He's one of the best. And, again, like, salute to you, Sway, for making that man comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Whenever he came up in that building, we're going to miss him, but we're going to celebrate him forever.
There you go, Ross.
Energy never dies.
There you go. Come on, man. Rahman Dukes, I mean, I appreciate what you're saying. If I remember the first time I came to MTV, I was managing Tech Nine, and I brought Tech Nine up there, and Rahman ended up having me. He knew who I was. Nobody else in there did. And he asked if I would host what was I hosting? It was
it was a Stretch Armstrong show.
Okay, and he couldn't make it, and they asked me to fill in, and from that, it started the ball rolling for me becoming a member of MTV, and that in the work we did behind the scenes, putting the blocks together was Rahman Dukes, Shaheem Reed, a lot of different folks, Sean Lee, a lot of different folks on our team back then. And I was talking about a picture that you sent me, Rahman, where it's you, me, Rob Markman, DMX. Who's that in the back in that picture?
Dane Grease. Shout out to Dane.
That's Dane Grease. Oh man,
we just shouted out Dane.
We just shouted out Dane.
Vacant
lot, man. And I'm gonna post a picture, man. Do you remember that day that we did? It was on a show called Rap Fix Live. It was the first ever hip hop streaming rap show / podcast, if you will. And we had DMX. What do you remember about that day?
Yeah, we had been trying to get DMX up there for a minute, and he had something that he was working on. So he was also doing like a day in the life with, I believe, with like All Hip Hop. So they had Chuck, who runs All Hip Hop, and a young lady who was with them like over the course of the day, and they came to Rap Fix. And there was a very esteemed journalist there as well. Like, after having a really dope episode, there was some folks there who had wanted. They had the Def Jam 25-year anniversary book, and they was waiting all day, the whole episode for them for X to come and sign it, whatever. And after the show, they look at the book. They're like, "Yo, this book is dope. This book is dope. Good, I'm out." And just took the book and bounced. And I was like, oh, snap, they just took homie book. And he was so hurt. And I felt so bad for him. And I remember I had to come to you, and I was like, yo, you should go talk to him, see if we get the book back. Sway, being the mediator that you are, and I've seen so many different situations, Sway walks back with the book. Makes my man's day. But, that was like one of the most memorable things I ever seen, like, from X. And that's something else that just like really embodies him. Like, he's just so real and he's just so thorough. And the other reason why that day was important to me is because the young lady who was with Chuck from All Hip Hop that day, we ended up building, a relationship from meeting her that day, and we're married to this day. X has a special place in my heart. That's something I'll never ever forget. Never.
That's
forget
where
that.
you met Gina?
What?
That's where y'all met?
That's
crazy.
That's where it began.
Oh my gosh, man! I'm gonna post this picture, Rod. I remember. I'm gonna go ahead and post this picture. I'm gonna tag you on it. What an amazing!
Shout out to Dane Grease too, because Dane Grease, aside from the fact that Dane Grease looks like DMX, that's how close that they were. You know what I'm saying? Like, Dane Grease did like a lot of incredible stuff for X, and like, his career, and them just being like blood brothers. Just wanted to shout him out, man, because I know he's like, going through it. But much respect and props to him and Swizz and the whole Rough Riders and the Locks, everybody.
Absolutely, man. Hey, man, appreciate you, Rahman. Thank you for calling in. I'm gonna post
you,
that
brother.
picture at Real Sway. Let's link up soon. I love you, Ra.
Yeah, love you, bro. Love you, Evan. I talk to you guys.
Love you too, bro.
We're going to have to dig up all those years of work and make them release it to the public, all right? My man, Rahman.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, we're going to come right back, man.